Hello, welcome back. This is Calc 1 by Dr. Oz. So this is the third video of the series of 3 on antiderivatives and indefinite integration. In the previous video, we covered basic integration rules to find antiderivatives. So in this video, I plan to cover finding a particular solution of a differential equation. Okay. So in other words, we're going to talk about initial conditions and particular solutions. So here we go. Let's start. We already seen that the integral of f of x dx, referring to the antiderivative of little f, has many solutions, right? Because eventually, once we're done with integration by using the integration formulas that you can see up here, so we always add one of those like constants over there, right? The c. Right, and then that means like any constant, adding any constant to one of the antiderivatives will produce one solution. So in other words, it's equivalent, in fact, to say that two antiderivatives differ only by a constant. Okay, what does that mean? So let's talk about the integral of 3x squared dx, and we can easily use the power rule for integration to handle this integral. Let me just work through that real quick here. So I can certainly split this integral into two parts, 3x squared dx minus 1 dx, right? And I can pull the constant out, 3x squared dx minus 1 dx. And for this integral, I can use the power rule, which is essentially adding 1 to the exponent and dividing by the new exponent. I can keep the constant here, and 1 is a constant, and the integral of that is in fact 1 times x, which is x, and I add the integration constant here. So if you simplify this, so the bottom here is 3 cancels this 3, so you have x cubed minus x plus c. That's exactly what you got here. Okay, so we called in fact this the general solution of in fact the differential equation, which is y prime equals 3x squared minus 1. So solving this differential equation is equivalent to solving this integral or finding the integral of 3x squared minus 1. And if you do that, you get x cubed minus x plus c. That's the general solution or family of solutions of this differential equation. And as you see that, antiderivatives differ by a constant. Okay? So what is the meaning of that? Well, if you assign different values to c, and if you graph x cubed minus x, let's say in this case, x cubed minus x minus 4, in this case, x cubed minus x minus 3, in this case, x cubed minus x plus 3. So you will see like the graphs are sort of like shifted all the way, or they are sort of like translations of each other in the y-axis. Okay, so this observation is important. So then let's say like we have infinitely many of those solutions, but I want to find a particular one satisfying a certain condition. So first of all, that particular one is called a particular solution. Okay, and if I tell you where I want my curve passing through, meaning that I'm providing a condition for the general solution to satisfy, it's called the initial condition. And then I get down to this particular solution. So particular solution is in fact one of the solutions in the family, but that one satisfies a certain condition. For example, I want my curve out of like infinitely many curves here. I want my curve, let's say, passing through the origin. And as you see that there's only one curve passing through the origin, which is this curve here. Right? There's no other curve passing through the origin in the family. Okay, so this is called the initial condition. So once I prescribe my initial condition, then I can in fact tell you exactly what the general solution turns out to be, and I call that solution not general solution anymore, but a particular solution. As I said, if you prescribe an initial condition, let's say like I want my curve to pass through the point 2, 4, that means that I'm looking for a particular solution. I'm looking for a particular solution such that this curve should satisfy the points, right? So I have y equals x cubed, I have y equals x cubed minus x plus c, and I want this curve to pass through 2 and 4, and 2 is for x, and 4 is for y. So then y is going to be 4, and x is going to be 2, okay? So 2 cubed minus 2 plus c, so this is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6, so 4 equals 6 plus c, and subtracting 6 from both sides takes you to c equals -2. Okay? So if you determine c, that means you determine the form of the particular solution. Okay? Using the slice notation, in fact, this is sort of like the form of the general solution, and you want f of 2 to be exactly equal to 4, okay, which is exactly the same thing that I mentioned here, okay, so that you end up having like x cubed minus x minus 2 as the particular solution corresponding to this type of initial condition, which is this one. Okay, you want your curve passing through 2 and 4, right? And here is another example. So let's say like you have a differential equation which is capital F prime of x equals e to the x, and you want the particular solution of this differential equation to pass through or to satisfy this initial condition such that f of 0 is equal to 3. So first of all, I want to find this general solution of the differential equation. That means I'm integrating e to the x, okay? And we have a formula for that. In fact, let me just take you back to slide number 17, which is in fact the integration of e to the x dx. That's e to the x plus the integration constant. So going back here, e to the x dx is e to the x plus c. So that's in fact capital F. Okay. So here, this is f prime of x dx equals e to the x dx. By using the formula, that's equal to e to the x plus c, and that's exactly what capital F is. So I want capital F satisfying this initial condition. So in other words, whenever x equals 0, I want f to be 3. So 3 equals e to the 0 plus c. In solving this for c, so this is 1 plus c, right? After you solve this for c, you go back and then conclude that f of x satisfying f of 0 equals 3, a particular solution, is in fact e to the x plus 2. All right. So the solution that I'm after is e to the x plus 2. All right. Let me just clean this up. Okay. What if you have different initial conditions? So in fact, the family of curves, the family of curves versus the particular solution, just pay attention to that. So the family of curves were in the form e to the x plus the arbitrary constant, right? So for different choices of c, as you see, you have a particular solution corresponding to that. And out of like infinitely many of those, I'm looking for the one that passes through 0 and 3, okay, which is in fact right here, and that one corresponds to the case that where the arbitrary constant is in fact 2, okay. And please go through this problem after you finish watching this video. It's like this time you have the second derivative provided to you. So you have a differential equation, but this time this the left-hand side is the second derivative of the unknown function f. So this question provides you two initial conditions, one for f prime and the other one is for f. So that means you're going to do like integration twice. Okay, so first you're going to look at f double prime of x dx. And once you're done, that means you're going to find f prime, right, with an arbitrary constant. And after you integrating f prime coming out of here, the first step, you get f of x. So this f of x should have two arbitrary constants, okay? Two arbitrary constants, okay? And by using these two conditions here, f prime at 0 equals 3 and f of 0 equals 1, you'll get down to those constants. And once you determine those constants, then you will be having a particular solution to this differential equation. And the second exercise that you should probably go through by yourself is the population growth, which is an application problem here. So the rate of growth of a population of bacteria is proportional to the square root of t. So in other words, if you if you just say like population size is represented by p, and t is obviously time. So then the first derivative of p with respect to time is equal to k times square root of t. That's the meaning of the first sentence, right? Rate of growth of a population of bacteria, which is dp over dt, is proportional to the square root of t. Proportional means like square root of t and dp over t is related to each other by a constant k, okay? And you're given the initial size of the population. So p is a function of time, right? And you're provided p of 0, which is your initial condition. And what you're going to do is first you're going to solve this differential equation, and you're going to use your initial condition to start with, p of 0 equals 500. So that means you're going to get the general solution, but in fact a particular solution because you prescribed the initial condition together with that, right? Because you used the initial condition together with that. So once you get the particular solution, that means you get the general form of the particular solution. That means you can actually calculate or estimate the growth of bacteria after 1 day, and in fact even in 1 week, okay? So because you have the full form of p of t. All right, please go through those two examples after you're done with this video, and make sure you understand how to solve differential equations and finding general solution and a particular solution together with prescribed initial conditions. All right, this is the end of the last video for section 5.1. I'll see you in another video. Bye.